This day 1127 the Oshel Yomi. If you'd like to sponsor come and share more of the Oshel Yomi, please call me directly. It'd be very greatly appreciated. Today we're doing Simon Yardeh Simon Kuf Ches, Siv Gimel to Yud. And we're talking about Reicha. Gimel. What's the more common name of Reicha? Finding more several types of smells. Psachim Yeshkulta Bebas Shkuta Shamein and Psachim that find above. There's a machlekes about the meat from an animal which is shechted, which is fat, which you roasted together with the meat of an avela, which is lean. The chados the fat me'adadi. The one aser is because it gets fattened, moistened. I'm not sure exactly. Fattening really means to fatten up, but here it means it gets permeated from each other. Meaning, it's not just a case where the nevela, the treif is fatty, and the kosher is lean. In that case, the here the pitu means that the lean meat draws out the smell from the fatty meat. But even the opposite, we say also that the shkuta which is fatty gives a more capacity to the nevela, the trade meat which is lean, to give off its smell. But and then the kosher of meat draws the smell from the treif meat. So that is one opinion. The chad oser, I think I translated more before. The chad oser means one. I said one os is the other. No, chad oser before means it's one mandomer says it's oser. Chamati it means it's one. The other mandomer says mutter. Shenreichel milse because the fragrance. Let's use fragrance. The fragrance is insignificant. Even if it's a fatty treif meat, we don't care. As explained there. It also is there the pasha following tanur, bread which was baked with roast in an oven. Also, you're now to eat it with milk, a milky dish. Is a type of yogurt. Dog should so too fish which you roasted with meat. In one oven. Not allowed to eat it with that yogurt. Because in that yogurt type of dish there is milk. And these bars have been seen ayin sham. And of course, there also mentioned what he says in the brackets in sakana basar dog in terms of the danger of mixing meat and fish. Ain't sakana bareach. There is no such danger when it comes to the fragrance. Pasuk Rashi Sham Rashi Paskins. We have a parak Zayin Chulin. Ram parak Tesvav Machos Asuros. They all Paskin Elokim on the matir. It was like those who say that it's okay. You'll see the fragrance is not significant. Maybe a raya mel. I saw they bring a raya from. But a zara that's some basically Abai Rav argue mutal the reach you're allowed to smell the fragrance of forbidden wine. Which also about no which means to make a hole in the top of the gufas or in the hole in the top of the barrel of wine. Chavis yain nesa of forbidden wine. To smell from within. The Rav Mati, Rav says it's okay, but looks like him. The Rechla Milsei. The Hanoah of Reach is not considered to be a true Hanoah. Rav Virai Mishnah Chumas Betano Shizkur Bechamon Shel Chuma. He brought a raya from the Mishnah says that if you have an oven which you stoked with kamon is some sort of I think once by the time I said it's kimon and it's not. So I don't know, coriander I think. Truma and the offer papas and you use to bake bread. Mutter bas, bread is mutter, even though it has a fragrance of truma. Fish ain't koch but tam kamon el kamon doesn't have really the taste of the kamon. It has the fragrance of the kamon. We'll say fragrance is insignificant. There's also a pasha flame lochla. So why do we forbid the bread which was baked with roast, with milk, chena dog, and also the fish? Like you said, it's because you can eat it without kutach. If you can be good, why be bad? It's preferable to be concerned with fragrance. The whole machlokes is only after the fact. You already roasted the kosher and treif meat together. But to do it deliberately is definitely also. Yerushalmi and Trumas Perek Yud. Halacha basis, the same machlokas appears. And those in the Yerushalmi, he who permits it, permits it in the chatchila. And this is where it says then Yerushalmi, allowed to roast two skewers. One of kosher meat, one trade meat, and one other Rav says it's also Levi Amar Mutar. Says permissible. Masisa pliga Rav. It seems that the Bryce argues on Rav. Ayin Sham. L'choshlu Rabbi says so. Sounds like even Chavchilo, according to the mat here, there who is Levi. Do it even Chavchilo. Lo choshlu Rabbi say our rabbis were not concerned with that Gemara Yerushalmi. The Gemara Dila Masha Rak Yeven Mutar because in our Gemara the Bavli it seems it's only Mutar b'Diyeven. V'zeushkas Rav Misham ain't selling basar shlutim basar nevela. That's the Rambam wrote. You don't roast kosher meat with treif meat. Even though they're not touching each other. On, if you roast them, which of course means with the evet, a raisin mutter is permissible. I feel like I saw shmeino harbe, even if the forbidden piece was very much more fatty. In brackets, he says, the Rif says not allowed to eat the bread with the yogurt. Mishum davar sheish matirin. Because the davar sheish matirin. In other words, better. Wait till don't eat it with the kutach. Because you can eat without it. So it doesn't literally mean davar sheish matirin. El Kain says it's like a davar sheish matirin. It's about the rights. It's a little bit like davar sheish matirin. To its kushas around bagos mordechai sham ayin barosh. Well, whatever they ask is resolved by the fact we say it's not mamish davar sheish matirin, but me'ain davar sheish matirin. Hey, Riv Zal, Asbero Leibit Lobetama. The Riv explains it with reasoning. The body rech fragrance does not give taste. Mash mamo, it's an insignificant substance. Umandos rech, yes, rech is made of molecules, just like taste is made of molecules, but they're so diffuse that it's insignificant. Mandos rech really bemis the mean mamino mashu. And anybody who asks reach must hold, according to the Rif, that mean b'mino is also mamashu, that there is significance even to minute amounts. Since we don't hold that way, so for us, for fragrance is not significant. That doesn't work according to Rashi. The mean b'mino mamashu, because he passes on the one hand, the mean b'mino is also mashu. Nevertheless, he holds that fragrance is significant. So what does he hold? Royally says Oshlan seemed to me the Rashi is feeling the reach aim bo afilu mashu. Molecules are not substance. Evidence of the Shabbos where it says if you take out food which is less than which is less than the normal shear in a keli, you also putter on the keli. They shall keli tefela because the keli's significance only comes in relation to what it contains, when it contains something. And therefore, since the thing it contains is significant, it too is insignificant at this point in time for the issue of hotzah. The vessel is subordinate to its contents. It says there, you might see klisha nikla b'oreach. If you take out a vessel which of good fragrance has been absorbed, chayv el keli. You're liable on the keli. The fragrance there's no substance, so therefore, it's not even pachas b'kashir, and therefore, mimela you revert to carrying the kli as a kli, and that's why you're chayv. Vav Odeviu Bagmar Sham also brings down the Gemara about it. So Mishnah Chumos, the Mishnah Chumos who says, I wrote the Pas Chama Mina Tanur, somebody who removes a hot bread from the oven, a Pichavish Yain, so Truma then puts it on the top of a barrel of wine of Truma, and Meir Oser Meir says, forbidden Rabbi Yehuda Matir. He says it's permitted. Rabbi Yossi Matir B'Shel Chitim, Oser B'Shel Sorim. Rabbi Yossi says it's okay if it's wheat bread, forbidden if it's barley bread, barley bread, Sorim Shoavos, because the barley absorbs within it, draws within it. the substance of the wine. That no longer is going to be fragrance, it's going to be taste. Parashmar Sham seems so arbitrary, but obviously that's more help. Parashmar Sham the past cham psucha. If you have a hot bread and an open barrel and you put the bread opposite the opening, for certainly everyone else. Pastel then is chavisluma. If it's a cold piece of bread and you put it on the barrel, place the barrel is sealed. Mutter, but it's mutter. Whatever it picks up is insignificant. Plukta, the machloka says, he pas chama, where the bread is hot, but the barrel is sealed, or pasonis, or a cold piece of bread, but the barrel is open. Because of a Reef Sham, the Reef writes, the Gam Sugi is need Chesim and Sula Recha Lab Milsahi. The Sugi is also rejected, according to Bean holds that Recha Lab Milsahi, that fragrance is insignificant. So that's around Masofi Chumash, because I wrote the Pas Kamab and the Son Hakachabi Chavishi Yain Shil Chuma. And so it writes, if somebody takes out a hot bread from the oven and puts it on top of a barrel of wine of Truma, if it's a white wheat bread, a raisin muteris is permitted. So if it's a barley bread, asuras, they should show us because they draw. But that thing where he says by barley, it's only an open barrel opposite the opening. The brackets here says, I'm astonished at Kesem Mishnah. Sham, Sheikh Shemach Sugi, that's from that Sugi, which is obviously different. Til Shem Rikurkus, Ayin Sham brings the hands in him Rikurkus. For Rif Kasam Furish came Peggy and Russia. Well, Rif writes explicitly that way. That there's no comparison. V'dai Yisham Isa Pas Kamal or Abusa Kamar. Yisham says hot bread is for Chiddush. Apisha Hevel Shapas Kamal Memarche Arech. Even though the heat of a hot piece of bread pushes back on the fragrance, and certainly if it's a cold piece of bread, it pushes back on the fragrance. I was saying, say lo chashla, shashla lo mashmakein. He says in our that's in Yerushalmi. Our Gemara does not hold that way, therefore they don't bring that Yerushalmi. They all argue. And they divided up the matter of fragrance into several details. The pitum, if you have a smell of something fatty and fragrance producing, like the meat of a kosher animal, and meat of a treif animal. So I'll say Medievid, because there it's a chefza of reach, so to speak. I become a mushroom shlisser. The duration of the reach also because the strong fragrance. I become a mushroom shlisser, it's like as if the substance of the issue is there. The basar shamin no same chazak because fatty bread gives a strong fragrance. Chengama pas. I said bread. Why I say bread? The basar shamin, fatty meat. It gives a strong fragrance. Pasta nefes imo, and therefore the bread baked with the other substance, or the fish roast with the other substance, called him a They do absorb the smell. But now eat them with yogurt. But to smell the fragrance of wine, which you smell enters your body and it's damaging somehow to your body. The answer there's no problem. But Kaima command matir, and we hold like those who permit recha. Chain behesek come chesek yisi come on shel truma. Like we said back with the coriander of truma v'afal pas. Hey, bake bread lo chashin lo. We're not concerned with la milsi. It's insignificant. B'chein pas chamal anicha b'chavis sucha. Well, that which we're matir is not because recha la milsa. It's because it's a it's because it's mazik. Or at best it does not much biach maybe. Let's explain why. But much one of those. And also the hot bread, to put it on the open barrel, because that's a strong smell. Molecules are more densely packed, and therefore it is more substantial. Masha feel shachitim also. It sounds like when it's a strong fragrance, even if it is wheat bread, it's still also. Right, Shitazu, evidence there's a opinion, me the low if you are shas psachim sham, beyond the Boston Bale, hanachin yana da soicha. The Moran Psachim does not bring these concepts of hasoicha and avodah zarah. Shmam da them shayochim selazet. Must be two separate sukkahs, one reach chazak and one reach chalosh. Reach pitum shani, and the smell of something which is made for fragrance. I'm not saying the word for pitum is tricky. Is different. But it's not like just pleasure. Like literally eating. You can cut it with a knife. Ches. Yes, Yishayim shall see v'lomad the reaction of a cholif. The Yishayim will add that if you have a fragrance of something which is sharp, but whether the iser is sharp, or the heter is sharp, even so when they're both sharp, the body also. Again, that's a fragrance of cut onion, more fragrance than that of a cut nectarine. Okay. Rather longish brackets here, certainly relative to the sif, which is still just 3 lines. It says here, Mordechai Peragid Anosha. This is from the Mordechai Vrasim, he come on do Charif, and he brings evidence from the coriander, which is sharp. The Chabai Mishun Nisraf and Abai said that's not the reason, rather because it's burned up. No, that's it. Says that can't be a problem because it gets burned up. Usr. And it's mashal it's Usr. Let's see. Okay, so let's read this over because I think a part is too wrong. The brackets. Mordechai Peragid Anosha. Right, so the right of Mordechai is Mekaman du Charif, from the karma which is sharp. The Dachi Abaye Mishum Din is Rabban's Abaye says still it's not a problem because it gets burnt up. Lavach Aser. If not for that, it would be Aser, and jump. So therefore, it's mashal there that Charif, the smell from a Dover Charif would be a problem. Tzarchi and God. That's also not understand. How can you bring right from Abaye saying that? I've got the Baye who the karma. That's a Baye. Well, it's Mecha Milsa. But in Kaima Rava, you'll Mecha La Milsa. Chelik Shar Bichonis, if you go to the Ches, my case, the place if you can Yud. See what above. Since this matter is not telling basic Gemara, but it's mitzaras vore. I told him mitzolim shnitzim the bela. Say there what he writes in terms of onions, which are roasted with treif meat. Onion might be more pungent. And kamon and asishape rayas rava mi kamon. And then Rava's raya is from kamon, which we don't add aser. But something which is more charif, like onion, we would aser. Test. All of the greats agreed. Even those who asked the meat of the kosher meat and the trade meat, which are roasted together, and also according to the opinions of Bilal, also even though they forbid the Chatchil, one of them at least is fatty. Both lean, even deliberately to do it. It's a Taz and Shachar Bichodesh, a crazy place. Leah's daiti learn I came to Ram. Says the Arukh HaShulchan, nothing doing. I don't think that's the shot from the language of the Rambam. Because of Ein Salim Bas Shchuta, Bas Belo says you can't roast shechted meat with treif meat, kosher meat with treif meat. Being slaughtered, if you did roast them together, raise the mutter, it's okay. I feel it's a surah shemein arbe, even if the forbidden one was very fatty. End quote. He doesn't differentiate the chatchila between lean and fatty. It says, well, can you roast them together? Lean and fatty are not mentioned as factors. Some psachim, it seems quite clear that that's the case. Because Ashas asked, and those who asked murder time for that which learned the Brisa ain't stolen shnei psachim. You don't roast 2 korban pesach there. They show you that the bodies shouldn't get mixed up with each other. And the pesach will be eaten by the wrong group of people. Isar gam below that also, but if you hold a recha milsa, so even without that sauce, nation zeb bolem izay they rech because each one's absorbing from the other through the fragrance. Nichas shaslim so terutzi mayin sham, and the Shah said difficulty finding what um, so gam below that also because it's mination zeb bolem izay they rech and nichas shaslim so terutzim why recha even though it could be bolei de reach, it's still going to be mutter, as Dochak answers, whereas you could just say, okay, he explains. If it's going to the by Tosis, no question at all. It's where both of them are kachush. That's you need to answer it because they're not bolei. So it must be that even that's also chatchila. Gemara goes to the case thereof, a case where the treif meat is fatty and lean meat is treif. Ayin sham. Zelin and dievin. The chaygav the gam dievin also. So it's going to be dievin. In that case, even dievin it's also. Shtein kachushim mutter dievin, but if they're both kachush, then it's mutter dievin. They're both lean. Avachatchila gam shtein kachushim also. But even when it's lean, both are lean. It's also chatchila. How should I do it? Sim lamachei. He writes avomini basa de befatma. Types of meat which are fatty. Mode chatchila mi also. Chatchila, it's meat basa de befatma. I guess he's saying all meat is mefati. Mode chatchila mi also. He's saying they're clearly the chatchila it's also. I he didn't mention the factor of lean or fatty as being an afkamina. Because you would because of poskin I feel like and even though it's a machmer for recha milsa davka tanu katan. It's only a small oven. I would tanu godol, but a large oven. Shmachzek is yud basic sornim lechem. So it's 12 yisonos of lechem, which is yisonos 43 and 3/5 basim. So 12 times that. Kol yisonos shir chala. Each yisonos is a shir chala. Lefi said shir chala shlosh litos kemach. They consider 3 of their measures of flour is the minimum amount to take off challah. Yud bes esronim same lambo of litros, 12 esronim, which are 36 litros kemach. Besides that, our ovens don't open on the top; they open on the side, which also means to be lenient. We don't have to be macher even ab initio to begin with reach. Because our ovens have broader airspace. They also open from the side. And it's not going to absorb the it's not just funny way of putting it, but the fragrance of this is not going to overcome the heter. That's Chazal. Normal lemons are called small. And the openings were up on top. There, I see it's shared or basar v'chol v'yakera. You can't roast anything together. Have a low shanin tzarinu shalonu. But ours are big ovens. Shem psuch pasmin outside. They don't open at the top. They open on the side. Here's some of the gam yud beis esronim ein tzarich. Those who say you don't need 12 esronim to be, guess to diffuse the smell. Koshu katon shalom ain't. It's like our ovens ain't bo isser because no prohibition because we assume it got burnt up. Okay, space in the Rashba.